Buenos dias and welcome to Filmmaker Today. Let's jump right in. What has this beer and your new client have in common? Well, they both don't like to be disturbed during their hibernation. And to be honest, the corona lockdown can feel a bit like hibernating, right? So today we'll talk about how to approach your new client without this to happen. Now, there are a lot of ways to reach out. You can use email, LinkedIn, Facebook, and tons of other communicational services. But you can also give people a classic phone call. Actually, my preferred way of having first contact is to do a video call, and second best is a phone call. And that is because a call gives the most information that is needed to get to know someone. If you hear someone talking over a certain topic, you'll notice that some parts will be emphasized or repeated, while other parts will sound like insignificant or obvious. So if you hear your new client talk over his needs, you will be able to understand more if you focus on how he's talking about a certain topic. There's actually a study which concluded that words form only 7% of our communication and that 38% is formed by the vocal tone. And although this study turned out to be at least questionable, there is a certain truth to it. Before you pick up the phone, make sure to do two things. First, set a goal for yourself, and a great goal to start with is to actually get to know the person that you're calling. Because if you know your client, you will be able to understand his needs better, and you will be able to build a long-lasting relationship. Second, do research. Visit the website and social pages of your client and find out what they are doing and if they use video in their communication. And if so, watch the videos and think about what you can improve on their current content strategy. If you do your research right, you will probably come up with a set of questions. For example, why did you use video over there, and was that video helpful, etc. Now write these questions down and get ready to call. Okay, so now it's time. You're calling your first client and then he or she picks up. And then you start by introducing yourself, say your name, company name, and ask if it's a good time to call them. If so, you can continue by referring to the person that introduced you. This will really help the listener to identify you. If you don't have any reference, you can tell what you do for a living. But make sure to keep this really short. In general, people don't like a sales pitch the first time they talk to someone. Instead, continue with asking questions. Start with the set of questions you've prepared, but make sure the conversation doesn't end up like an interrogation. So also reflect by telling how you handle certain issues. And if all goes well, you will have the conversation going and you can get to know your client better. Now, you don't have to go over all the questions you have for your new client. It's even better to keep it short and ask if your client would like to extend the conversation during a new appointment. And if you've managed to ask the right questions, your new client will probably be interested to make that new appointment. But what happens if the person that you're talking with gives short answers and acts blunt? Well, then you're probably asking the wrong questions. Or the person is either just busy or not interested in you. And that is okay. You can then end the conversation by asking if you can send some information by email. And that's it. I mean, approaching client is like dating. Sometimes you just don't share the same chemistry, and that is okay. As long as you stay in the game and reflect and improve after every time you approach a new client, you will sooner or later find the perfect match. And when that happens, it's time for your first date. So at your first appointment, which is either in real life or online, it's time to get to know your client even better. And just like your first phone call, you also set up a goal for this meeting. A great goal can be to get to know the needs of your client. What exactly is his communicational problem, and how urgent is it to find a solution? Because in many cases, the client has a problem, but either has no budget or time to find a solution. And in that case, just ask when it's a good time to meet again. In most cases, you can make a new appointment after a couple of months. And if your client likes to move forward with you during this first meeting, make sure to ask all the right questions that will enable you to make a good proposal. Questions you definitely need answers to before you make a proposal for your client are: what's the key message of the video you're going to produce? What is the target audience? What's the budget? And when is the deadline? And a great additional question is to ask if your client has some kind of visual reference, like a video or an image, anything. When you have this information in the pocket and you know your client, you can move forward to make a client proposal. In my next video, I will show how to make a client proposal they can't refuse. Now let's wrap it up. Approach your new client preferably by phone or video call. Research your client's website and social pages before you call them and prepare a set of questions. Get to know your client during the first contact and focus on their needs during your second meeting. Make sure to ask all the questions needed to make a great proposal. Now, if you think this video was useful, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching and good luck!